vanilla bean paste. There are different uses. There's so many uses for vanilla beans, and it has been so fun over the last 4 years playing around and learning different applications and things that we can do. In our last in our last live event, we made powder, vanilla bean powder. We did vanilla bean sugar, which, by the way, we didn't say that to the new person. That empty pouch of Madagascar beans, you fill it with sugar after you take the Madagascar beans out.
Well, that's what a lot of our members, they came up with that.
You let that sugar absorb all those vanilla bean oils, and it tastes just wonderfully vanilla bean sweet. So that's another little trick. So there's all these things that you can do with vanilla beans. One of them is vanilla bean paste.
Yes, we have had a lot of our members want to know more about vanilla bean paste, and so we thought, well, let's just do it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. While you're getting it set up, we have there are a million different vanilla bean paste recipes that are out there. We posted our favorite recipe in our extract making or our dessert section. If you go to vanillapura.com, up in the top left corner you see a little magnifying glass. Just search for paste, and our favorite recipe will come up. It's one of many. So you may love this recipe, you may not like the recipe, but the paste itself is what we want to talk about. We're going to use the recipe that's on our website right now, but we love hearing different recipes, different applications, different things. We probably could have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different vanilla bean paste recipes on our site. So we'd love to hear your feedback as we go through ours. This one's been our favorite.
Yeah, and we have seen many of your recipes on the blog, and they've been great, wonderful. This recipe is actually made with agave nectar. It gives just another option of not using refined white sugar. And I thought it was a nice, option if you want to just kind of not have to have as much white sugar. So, and it's been great.
Yep.
Really, we've really liked it. Okay, so there's really it's quite easy.
And there's just a few steps.
3 ingredients.
Yep.
So we have, of course, we start with our vanilla beans. And it's 30 vanilla beans, or around 4 to 5 ounces. And we usually like to weigh our beans, but if you don't have a scale, it's about 30 beans. It's a lot of beans. That's why a lot of people, we don't do this, because it takes a lot of beans.
Yep.
So here we are, we have our beans. The second ingredient is actually extract. So you can add, and in the recipe it says 4 to 6 tablespoons. I did about 5. I'm going to leave it in there because everybody just, you do what you think. Start with 4 and then go from there. Everybody has a different taste. And so
we tend to err on the higher level quantity of extract because we have so much around. This one here is was this a Madagascar?
This is Madagascar. It's almost gone because we go through it really quick.
Was it a vodka one?
It was.
This was Madagascar vodka. Okay.
And we've already taken the beans out and used them. I think I may have put these in our mother jar. Yeah. So anyways, we only have a little bit left. I love the little spout on here. You just pour it. It's so easy to use.
This bottle spout configuration, we talked about it before, it's our favorite. 8.5 ounce bottle, so it's easy. Open neck, so it's easy to grab the beans out, and then that little spout fits in it just perfectly, and it makes pouring really easy.
Yep.
Okay.
So the third ingredient is just the raw agave nectar, and it's 1 cup and 2/3. 1 2/3 cup. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut up your beans. All of these 3 ingredients are going to go into your food processor. And I just cut these beans up because it just makes that process in the processor faster. If I cut them kind of just in 4s usually, it goes pretty quickly.
You should be able to see that. They all kind of look like little Tootsie Rolls.
Yep.
When we're all done.
You can cut them smaller if you want it to go even faster in your processor. So what I do is I just put the beans in the processor, put the agave nectar, and then finally the vanilla, and then I just pulse until I get kind of this pulp texture. I also like to call it sludge because that doesn't sound as nice as pulp texture, but it kind of looks like that. So here it is right here. I don't know, can you, maybe
do a close-up?
Yeah, maybe do a close-up. It looks...
Can I use this?
Yes.
So this is vanilla bean sludge.
Pulp is what they like to call it.
All right.
And
so you consistency.
You get that really pretty quickly. You can see it's kind of syrupy because of the agave nectar. Some people have commented that theirs came out runny. I don't know. I think everybody's idea of what paste is may be different. In my, I've always made it in like a syrupy texture. It's just, thick, but not thick where you need to take it out with a spoon. That's what I've come come across. So now you've got your.
So you keep pulsing it, and what you don't want to see are the big like vanilla bean chunks. We want to make sure that the vanilla beans have been broken down very well within the texture.
So you just can kind of see that clumpiness there. There's no big pieces. I don't know. Can they see that? Mm-hmm. There's no big pieces of beans. I've just, and I just kept pulsing until those were all out. So once you're at this stage, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put them in your strainer. And you can kind of see the texture as it comes out here.
So we've got a strainer sitting in a bowl right here.
Yep, and I kind of wanted to put the bowl higher so you could kind of see what the texture is coming out. It is sticky. This stuff gets everywhere.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay, so now you're just going to kind of
hold it up a little higher so you can see.
Pushing.
Oh, it's okay.
No. Okay.
Let's just put it right back in. That's my fault. Okay, ready? Here we go.
There we go.
So we got a little bit of sludge in the bowl.
There. Okay.
So we want to make sure. There we go.
Okay. So here we go.
There is no magical editing in this video. There are no stunt doubles. We do all of this work on our own.
I know. It's just real here.
It's
in our
real
house.
and raw, and we're making it live. But
So,
this is kind of a messy thing.
Do you see? I want you to see how it kind of just drips like that. It's just dripping out. It's like syrup.
And
That's
what's
exactly
fun
what it is.
each one of these legs, when you look at them, they are full of vanilla bean caviar.
Yep.
And that's what we love about
and it
paste.
Smells delicious.
The kitchen right now is filling with the smell of vanilla. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing to make. It just,
yep, the aroma is
sweet.
Wonderful. Okay, so what you do, you just keep doing that
Keep
and doing
stirring.
that until you don't get too much coming out of your strainer.
Yeah. So everyone can see. So we just keep stirring it around in the strainer. We're kind of putting some pressure on it, trying to push whatever liquid out of the bottom that we can. And that's what's happening.
It does take some time.
Here you go.
I think here it is. So this is just to save in time here. Will you hand me that spoon?
Sure.
This is kind of what it ends up being.
So it's the same consistency as like a maple syrup. Is what we would, maybe it's even a little thicker.
It's a little thicker than a maple syrup.
You want me to go give them a close up again?
Sure, if you want.
We need to figure out.
The color is beautiful. Super, super, super sweet.
So there's your consistency of the finished vanilla bean paste. And as you'll see, it's full of caviar.
It's super,
and the smell
super
is
easy.
Just wonderful.
Just as easy, maybe a little more difficult than making the extract, but not much. Like really, I mean, we did that how fast?
Well, we skipped the processing step because it's loud and it's messy, and so for the video we didn't do the food processing step, but you can have the whole thing made in 15 minutes.
Yeah. So here's the thing, we don't really like to waste anything with our beans.
No.
We try and figure out, I've got this sludge now, what am I going to do with it? So we thought, okay, maybe we can make powder out of it. So I put it in the oven, and I put it at 200, and I just put it on a cookie sheet. The first time I did it, I put it on a cookie sheet, and when it was finished, it was stuck onto the sheet so hard that it was so hard to get off. So
couldn't get it.
If you have like a silicone baking mat or like a pastry sheet, that is probably a better idea because then you can just peel it off really, really easy. It's not a big deal. So I put it in the oven. I don't know. I just put it in a couple hours, and your whole house will smell divine.
Yes.
It will. I mean, Paul came home and he's like, "What is that smell? And what are you making?" So it will smell so nice. And then I let it sit overnight just on the counter, and then it comes out into these kind of crumbles.
They almost look like brownie pieces, and like a similar texture, but we weren't able to get all the moisture out of it to turn it into like a powder.
Yeah, so this is the same process that we use when we make powder, but this has the agave in it. And so there is sugar in here. And so when I finally dried it up and I put it into the coffee grinder, it did fine. It ground down just fine, except for now it's the texture of like brown sugar. So it's totally different.
This could be something that no one has ever made before, and we actually think it's really cool, but it's like vanilla bean brown sugar.
Yes.
Because you pack it.
If you can see on my, I don't know if you can
maybe
see
give them
that.
a close-up?
Yeah, why don't we do that? It's kind of like brown sugar. So I have just put it into things that have brown sugar in, and I kind of put it together, and then I mix it together that way. I haven't tried it on any other thing other than just kind of along with brown sugar. But really my favorite is regular
vanilla bean powder.
Because then you can use that in more applications. But you know, in the spirit of don't waste anything, it's doable. You can use this.
It is, and so it added just a little bit of sweetness, vanilla sweetness, to the taste of brown sugar, which is totally new to us. When we put it in the oven, we were hoping that we would get out just regular vanilla powder, because that would be the easy thing to explain. You just put this in, you get regular powder, and we're good to go. But with the agave,
the sugar changes
the
things.
sugar, the crystallization, the heat, it changes things, and so this is what we ended up getting out of it. And so it's kind of a vanilla bean, like brown sugar, for lack of a better term, because of the agave that's in it. So a fun little development there. That anything that you guys do with your leftover, I keep going to sludge is the word that's in my mind. What do you call it? The pulp. Thank you. Anything that you do with your leftover pulp, we would love to see it. Please share that with our group, because we love seeing different new applications all the time.
Well, and please share your recipes, you know, because this is a kind of a one-off with agave. If you have a favorite recipe that you use with sugar, you can do that. You can also use glycerin if you want to go a sugar-free route. I know that people have done that. So if you have a favorite recipe, put it out on our group and share it, because we would love to know.